Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast. We're out here again for the Yorkshire Power Up Stage number 4. It is the All-Arounders stage today. Cool stage, actually, that is going to be taking on 2 laps of the UCI Harrogate course. So it is the regular course of the Yorkshire, well, not the entirety of the UCI course, but what Zwift has replicated in game for that course. The Yorkshire Power Up Tour, if you guys are unfamiliar with it and just tuning in for the first time for the broadcast this week, it's a 6-part event series using all of the routes of Yorkshire. Essentially, with the launch of the UCI course, it's all about getting familiar with all of the routes that are out there. Each race is going to be focusing on a different cycling specialities with corresponding power-ups set exclusively for each one of the races. So different power-ups on each one of the days. Now, being the all-arounder, normal power-up rotation today. So all the power-ups are going to be available. So this means that the Zwift power-ups are available at each one of the banners, the sprint banner, the KOM banner, as well as the lap finish banner. One last thing is 1 lap distance is 13.8 kilometers and 1 lap elevation is 245 meters. There's a good amount of climbing and it's very punchy out there for sure. Now, you're going to be able to get the feather, the arrow power up, the drafting van, the breakaway burrito, or even the ghost power up should be on out there today. We've got about 30 seconds to go to the start of the race out here. We've got 3 feeds coming in here for the race, so we should be able to cover everybody's race fairly well out there today. Lots of chatter coming on through. It looks like over in the A category with 15 seconds to go, 186 riders. For the women's category, it looks like it's going to be 17 that have jumped into the race today. So let's go ahead and see how things do kick off here. We are watching, I believe it is going to be Debski from Team Poland. No, it's actually Jay Whitaker that's going to give us the first views here as they do take off out onto course here. So as they do take this left-hand turn, it is going to be a uphill grind right from the get-go. That is something about this course that has been definitely very difficult for some of the racers at the start, because the uphill grind, as they do take the left-hand turn in just a moment here, is going to, there's a right-hand turn, but there's an immediate uphill 4%-ish gradient for quite a long time, and it makes things extremely difficult right from the get-go to hang on if anybody is looking to really push the pace out there. So we'll see if anybody does start to try and break things apart. Now, one of the things I do want to comment on is we do look at Van Ingen here off the front, 5.1 watts per kilogram. A couple of well-known names actually out on course. I am seeing Eric Schlange here from the Zwift Insider actually hammering away up towards the front. So good to see Eric Schlange riding for that dirt team here. And we'll see. He said we'll see if he can hang on at the front end. I mean, this is a pretty solid effort here already from him, but at 3% gradient here, we'll see what kind of A-plus riders are showing up. Jay Whitaker are young. We're seeing Cryogen in there as well. B. Gallen here. Now, this is interesting with this Women's Zwift Academy here hammering away. So good to see the rider out of New Zealand here jumping in with the A category here. And she may be one of the first women to cross line, as it is, if she is able to hang on toward the front end of this pack. Kind of sneaking underneath the radar, perhaps, with the A category jump in there. And it may make it so that some of the other women do not catch on and or do lose the wheel there. Now, if you do want to interact, as always, we do have the social media integration. Should be a fast race out here today. I think we're looking at somewhere around a 38 to 40 minute, depending on what kind of pace that the riders are pushing out there today. This is the Torture Around Yorkshire series, as Ostenbrook is letting us know. And Bjorn, it's good to see you back in here. And Bjorn, are you jumping into the race today? I'm going to see if I can find you out there. Had a rough day a couple days back, but good to see Bjorn jumping in here. Race, they said in the description it's a ride, but we all know what happens when there is a common starting and finish line. And that's definitely something we do want to mention. In the description, it both said race at the start of when you first started reading, and then it says, is this a race well, no, it is a fun ride, but with times and at the start line, finish line, as well as at the end, you do have some results that do show up. So not necessarily a race that to put too much pressure on. And if you do want to just go out and finish up the ride, and if you do finish, I believe it is 4 of the rides in the series, you do unlock the in-game kit. So actually complete 4 stages to unlock the special Yorkshire Power-Up Tour kit. So as you do see the kit that is in game, a lot of the riders out here just looking to get across the finish line and open up that kit for them. Essenberg let us know that I'm dead. Andrew Banky saying it's a race. Well, depending on how you do ride it, that's for sure. So back up toward the front end of this category, if we can. Kaiser was off the front. I did see him just a moment ago. We'll see if we can stay with him. Gledhill here as well, but I'm saying a official here out of Norway, 85th place currently. S. Porter out of New Zealand, as we're going to keep on moving forward, see if we can find the front end of this race. As I said, the start of this course, if you guys haven't checked out this course yet, it's just relentless. This course, it's non-stop coming at you in here, and we already seen Eric Schlange here, 158 beats per minute now, 266 now watts, and we'll see if he can grab back onto the front end of this pack, but I think that the front group is starting to go away. We're seeing Wallace here now falling off a little bit here. Notley here, Mammoth now, Douglas there, 70th place. Swadling here on the downhill already, as we do look behind here. Quite the pack here strung out already at the front end of this group. A. Douglas now 71st place, as you can see. Tiersen here coming out of Sweden, hammering away. And this pretty cool looking track bike almost here, actually, coming on this track here. A couple of Tron bikes around with the BRT team, with Cahoon as well as Sully, Notley, and Mammoth. Now it looks like some of these riders just chilling and looking to finish on the day rather than actually taking an all-out race situation. So Fake Beard's up in here saying, is there such a thing as just fun, a fun ride? Always a race, especially out on Zwift. That's one of the things with Zwifting, right, is that unless you load up a workout in workout mode, a lot of times you do end up hammering maybe a little bit more than coach had asked for. So always something to be watching out for out on course. So again, we are covering today mainly in order to highlight those who are in the community doing the power-up stage, each one of the power-up stages for the series out here. It's all about providing that community service out there, as well as hanging out with all you guys in chat. So any comments on the course? What do you think of the course? What do you think of the new UCI Harrogate course, specifically this one? If you do look at the course profile in this upper right-hand corner, very punchy, as you can see up here. 2% gradient now, as you did come down that steep downhill momentarily after that first initial climb. Now, you wouldn't think, it's more of a false flat on that initial climb, actually, which is a little bit deceiving, and people can wonder why. Why am I getting dropped off so easily? Now we're back in with the front end of the race here, and it looks like this is going to be Carter, Gakes here, Godgood. Now Collins, U18 rider, Bertelson, Tonvik from the TFC, Sunderland from Innovation. So these are the names we're looking for the win out here today. Pew Blair from AFC, but the at the front here, we've got Cruzios here now, along with Debski from ZPL Poland, Zwift Poland riders now, hammering away toward the front. Kaiser and McKenzie here from BRT, so it looks like BRT showing up on the day with Farah here on the front as well. And looks like BRT looking to try and take a win out here. McKenzie 4.3 kilometers in, and it looks like 168 beats per minute right now. 310 watts steady now. I think we do have, it looks like about 20 riders here in this main group as they head by some of the sheep out on the course. We were saying yesterday we think that perhaps we need to have some sort of organization, some synchronized sheeping? What's the synchronized sheep out on the course here? And we need to get some sort of spellings, or even get them to start moving around there on the right-hand side. It'd be pretty cool Tour de France-esque like things with the hay bales. If we get those sheep to get organized, they're just sitting over on the side there, standing still. It seems like so. We need a little bit more action. It looks like there, but looking through wasted effort for no pay on your ZP classification. Lewis to go V is saying as well. Keith Robertson, Zwift Power Live not working. Yeah, and I'm wondering if that has something to do with why also a few of the riders are disappearing here. I do not believe that I am having any kind of connection issues, and so I am wondering if that has something to do with it. We have had it looks like throughout the throughout the Power Up Tour, we have had a few issues, not just in the Power Up Tour, but something has been going on. It looks like with the backend API, this last week or so. So hopefully we can definitely head on over to the forums, guys. Raise some tickets. I'll head on over to the forums as well. I'll send a couple of emails and say, hey guys, I think Hodges most likely as well, who runs runs Swift Power, probably has said something as well to bring a red flag or at least a yellow flag saying, hey, something might be going on here with some of the backend API. ZP Live doesn't work on the official Zwift events. Kim Little's letting us know. So, thanks a lot, Kim. I appreciate that. But, Kim, I do believe that there has been a little bit more connection issues, perhaps, though. So I would definitely want to just make sure that everything is running smoothly. So we're gonna, at least I'm gonna head over to the forums as well as send out some communication to see what's going on. But Jolif here from Cryogen, it looks like Debsky as well. Cruz and Masson now, quite the group here on the front, and this is probably the only section of the course. Now, they call it the all-arounders course here or stage here, and this is the reason why is, it's very punchy, but there are a few there's just about a little bit of everything out on this course. You've got some serious KOMs and climbs. You've got some flatter sections out on course to try and just drive the pace for those more ruler types. Then you do have, obviously, a sprint section out of course as you head back into town. So a little bit of something for everybody as we head by Scotty the Squirrel here. Hanging out on the upper left-hand side of the screen there. And this is going to be the flat section if somebody just wants to really pick up the speed. There's going to be a serious downhill in just a moment here, and it's going to be going into, they just came down that 25% gradient maximum, but back down into downhill and then rolling into the KOM. It's going to be an all-out effort into the KOM most likely with about 2 minutes, I believe, to the top here. And Kim Little saying many API calls, so perhaps that's what's going on there. Keith Robertson saying, coming on through as well. A little bit of chatter over at YouTube. Lots of chatter actually today over on YouTube, so good to see everybody tuning in on YouTube today. We are looking to grow that channel a little bit more if YouTube is one of your favorite platforms to watch on. Twitch as well if it is your favorite, but everybody to each their own, and make sure to follow either one of those. Facebook, again, as we always do say, most are social media platform. And even if you do get notifications over on Facebook, it tends not to be a place where you find people sitting for very long. As you usually log on to social media just to move right along, get some updates from all your friends, and then put it down or just keep on scrolling. So if you're looking for somewhere to consume the media a little bit more, go ahead and follow over on YouTube or Twitch. We do keep on losing a few of the riders here. This is the first time we've had the disappearing in quite a while, so I have a feeling something is happening here in the back end here. Gags here with Gogden. Now Blair we're seeing. Ram, McKenzie here. Hagen now. Cruz is now all onto that KOM. We're going to see if we can jump back in on another feed. Perhaps we're not going to lose him on one of the other feeds. Maybe it's just the main feed for us that is going to be having a struggle. So let's go ahead on over toward our A category feed. Currently 91st place in our other feed we're hanging out with. Now 61st place here, it looks like, with Stout Jestik, I believe that's going to be, out of the Netherlands, hammering away. We also got, for the women's side of things, we'll see if we can find them out there. I did see one of the BRT Hellcats was hammering away out there as well. But interesting to see the disappearing avatars again here. So it's been quite a while since we've seen that out on course. Jorgensen, Swadley, Knoll now at the front here. 24th place, it's going to be M. Stacy. But Kaiser here just trying to hang on in 12th place. Let's go ahead and jump in with them as they're heading down the other side, I believe, or just heading into, excuse me, the KOM. Coming over the top here in just a moment, and it's going to be Collins now. Vets here on the front here coming out of Belgium. Hammering away on that S-Works there. Al Ridger here along with Blair from the AFC team. Carter trying to hang on, it looks like now. And then our Jolif from Team Cryogen. But it looks like Vets, the Belgian rider, does have the gap. On the Z-Power, though, and fading then immediately as Jolif from Cryogen wants to come around. It looks like D. Carter from BRT trying to take out that KOM, though. Maybe be able to sneak right by here before they hit the finish line, or excuse me, that banner. It looks like it will be Carter BRT. needing to hang on, fades a little bit, but it looks like he will be able to make it over the top in first place there for that KOM. 206.3, followed by R. Ritter, and there's Joliffe there with a 206.6. Blair coming through for fourth in that KOM. Gakes here with a 206.8. Rounded out Collins, U18. Osenbrick is out there still hammering away, and Vets there off the back a little bit. Will he hang on is going to be the question. Gadja from draft here, now falling off the back by 3 seconds. He needs to close this down immediately, or it's all going to be said and done for the rider coming from Team Draft now. Vets now on the front. It looks like Joliffe now taking over. We've got a lead group, it looks like, of about 8 riders. Going to be 9 here shortly. Collins now getting into an aero tuck now. Osenbrook as well. Carter now 5-3 now to try and hang on as they flatten out onto the final few K of this first lap out on the UCI Harrogate course here today. So they're going to be doing 2 laps. It's going to be a fast race. Going to be over pretty quickly, actually. So do not go anywhere, as we're going to see probably a solid sprint, perhaps maybe a breakaway, though, as this is definitely, and we're getting a little bit of comments here coming from the BZR rider saying a little bit too, will be a little nicer large for this kind of a course here. Good to see the BZR rider with a little bit of humor in there. Into a 9% uphill gradient. This is definitely a difficult little bit of a kick here, as we do see a feather power up now coming. Collins now on the front there, U18 rider out of the UK, but it's going to be all Richter here out of Germany coming over the top there. 172 beats per 473 watts on that Tron bike now. Carter now from the BRT team now trying to close that down. Hanging on, it's going to be Vets here in the 13 watts per kilogram. Collins, though, still hanging in there. Always good to see the youth there mixing it up with some of the older riders. Back in with the women here in just a moment. Live results, being told, are not updating, actually, so interesting to see. Now, we had live results, though, the last couple of days, so interesting to see that we would not have them today, but perhaps just for this official ride, they have been turned off. So Kim Little, more information on that, maybe perhaps offline, because I was unfamiliar with that. So toughest course on Zwift, Kim Little saying, I think this is definitely one of the toughest courses. I haven't raced it personally yet. I've just commentated on it. From what I can see, though, there's not many courses that can cause the pack to break apart this much, actually. So let me know your comments, though. Let me know in the comments section if you think that this is the toughest race course that we do have currently out on Zwift. I would not disagree with that necessarily, because it's definitely, as far as what we've seen with the race broadcasts. James Hodges, with a breakaway yesterday on a course similar to this. The climbs, I think, specifically, it wasn't this exact course, but it was similar to this with the Tuit Tour, or the Tour of Tuit Well, I believe that is. But that course, a lot of the same climbs. I think that because of the nature of this course, we end up with these breakaway situations, or coming down to just 1 or 2, maybe 3 riders. We don't have these large packs necessarily coming to the line a lot of times. In the Fusion ECT race, when we did 3 laps, it did come down to a sprint. That was one where it did come down to the sprint. That was 2 last week. So with 3 laps on that, with some higher end racers, it definitely still has that sprint section, but it's still an uphill sprint at the end. So the clans add up for sure. Osenbrook's saying it's pure torture. Aaron is letting us know that he definitely thinks that this is one of the hardest courses out on Zwift. Keith Robinson saying that he thinks that the reverse is tougher. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. And I think that's mainly because of the nature of that climb right in the middle of it. Not the KOM necessarily, but that uphill 25 to 15% gradient is just absolutely insane, actually. So I wouldn't disagree one bit with that sentiment, as that is one of the hardest courses to take on, and that climb specifically is absolutely torturous. Melon out here, and it looks like for the riders out here, this time of day, a lot of these riders are jumping in each and every day at the same time. And Melon out of Kennedy, Out of Canada, has been one of our riders that have been showing up for the women's side of things day in and day out. She's battling it out with SQ out of New Zealand here for an early morning. S. Manders here as well for the women's category here now. So let's go ahead and keep on moving forward, though, as we do have McCormick. It looks like McCormick for the BRT Hellcats now, trying to battle out with Strand, as well as Pidgeot here from the pack team. This rider's been showing up each and every day. She's trying to hold on to M. Strand's wheel out of Norway, and McCormick here on the breakaway now on the KOM, looking to try and jump up over the top here. It does look like the best time currently for the win with the 2:49 for race 3R here, actually. We'll keep on moving forward so we can find the rest of the women that have already gone over the top, as we definitely do want to follow along with their race in its entirety. It does look like we do have Sasha here along with Grogan now as well. Big Rogan making her way through for 120th place. Without live results for ZwipPower.com, though, it will be difficult for us to follow along and get any kind of live results to let everybody know exactly what's going on amongst each of the categories. So we'll have to wait and see as we get to the finish line and to see if we can make sure we do not miss any of the riders there. I believe this is Debs here from Ride 3R, and with the fastest time over the KOM, I believe this is going to be first place amongst the women. Coming out of the UK here, 2.8 watts per kilogram currently coming from this rider. She sits in with a good group of the guys here, hammering away 53 kilometers per hour right now. Men here now just starting there, it looks like second lap, as we do have Gakes here from 3R now, just coming through. Let's go ahead and jump on over there and see as he sprints through the lap here. And he's saying another double-digit gradient here coming from Stevens. Live in the UK. I don't live in the UK, he's letting us know. The Belgian rider suffering with Gaja here off the back. 40 seconds back from this main group here with an 18:36. These boys setting records, it looks like, out here. Yakes now from 3R now trying to break it with Collins. It looks like two riders out the front with a 4-second gap. Vats is going to have to close this down. Jolliffe here from Cryogen now looking to hammer away with Blair's and P. Blair from AFC. Osenbrook now looking like he's having a little bit better day. A couple days ago he dropped off and said, no more, I'm all said and done. Taking a right-hand turn. Third place now. Blair, AFC, knowing that this is a moment of truth. Without a big pack at this point, no wheels to grab. It looks like this might be it. Collins now backs off the 3.7 watts per kilogram. Vets off the front on that Z-Power, and they're looking to grab onto that Autobus. On the back, it looks like it's going to be Osenbrook trying to make something happen. The Canadian here with the drafting power-up. Gakes now just trying to hang on, suffering from the attacks that he had made earlier. Going to be a difficult day for him because of that, it looks like. Grabs an amazing time out there with an 18:36, but that's not going to be very helpful to hang on to this pack if he's suffering now for it. 4.5 watts per kilogram coming from Osenbrock, as we do have 7 riders, it looks like, off the front. This is your main pack, it looks like. 46 seconds back, it's going to be Kaiser from the BRT team trying to chase this down. But they got one rider up front that's going to be Carter. And so perhaps, well, Kaiser probably interested to make that gap up, as it's going to be better chances for BRT. He's not dragging too many with him, I don't believe. Let's see what this main chase group is all about. I think it's just going to be 4 riders in the main chase group here. Debsky here 4 seconds back, though, with another group here trying to chase this down. So this is going to swell. And if it does swell with only a minute up, this could be a situation where this group could make the chase. But with how many climbs there are out here, it's definitely going to be difficult. But look at how this falls flat makes things so incredibly difficult to hang on to these gaps if you do not just press the pace at the front. Debsky here willing to do the work for Zwift Team Poland here. 3.8 watts per kilogram now backing off as he's looking to just grab on a wheel, it looks like here. 159 beats per minute. Lewis DeFret just letting us know that these hills are painful. Surrey Hills course is tougher in my opinion, but barely ever used, Wozniak to say. Good call, actually. The Surrey Hills course is absolutely insane. I would have to agree with you there, Mikhail Wozniak. I wouldn't say it's much more difficult by much, but I would, I might have to agree with you there with how long those climbs are. They're definitely not as punchy as these climbs. We're not looking at, the Surrey Hills course, we're looking at somewhere between 4 to 7 minutes, right, on those climbs. This is a little bit different in that we're not looking at a continual VO2 max effort. Now, it depends on what you would call difficult, because the punchiness of these climbs out on this UCI Harrogate course, I think perhaps changes up a little bit the type of suffering we're talking about, because you can just push the pace at 2 minutes 1.5 minutes, 1 minute climbs over and over again. And sometimes that can make for a more difficult race if the riders are willing. And I think that has a lot to do with it. The Surrey Hills, it's more about just what do you got for 5 minutes, who's got the better VO2 max, and you end up just breaking things apart. And when things break apart like that, the competitive nature of it might just get taken out a little bit, and you just end up riding your own race, and so it's just a little bit different. Now, that's a hard one for me when it comes down to what's going to be actually more difficult. Is 3, 4, 5 times at VO2 max over and over again more difficult, or is 2-minute attacks with sit in and then attack again and have to follow a wheel, and the dynamics of a race that's a little bit more bunched up, which I think that this course might lend to. P. Blair here from AFC off the front here. Good to see a rider here taking the risk, and he broke this pack on that false flat, actually, of a climb. What a solid effort here coming from P. Blair. He's only got 10 seconds here over the Z-Power rider, who looks like he's going to be coming across pretty easily. But Collins and the rest look to have thrown in the towel a little bit. On the downhill, though, they may be able to do something. But Blair, with that crazy attack, grabs a solid 12 seconds over this pack here. But not sure it's going to be able to survive. There's some very hungry sharks here trying to chase things down now. But the rider out of the USA, he's got 3/4 of a lap to go to try and hang on. He's got that autobus coming up to him, so they might be able to work together here out on course. So, and looking through here, Magnus B saying, oh, this isn't 100% VO2 max. Magnus, absolutely love the comment. Depends on where you're at out on the course, I think, Magnus B. Appreciate the comment, though. And need a hefty endurance to keep up with the pace on this course. Aaron is letting us know as well. Vegan Rabbits here, if I hear the voice of Nathan, always make some popcorn to stream better than Netflix. Thanks a lot, Vegan. I appreciate you. And as always, guys, I appreciate all of the viewers out there. Now, if you haven't done so already, you're just tuning in, make sure to hit that follow button wherever you are at YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Make sure to turn on your notifications as well so that you do know anytime that we do go live. We will be covering the rest of the Yorkshire power-up stages for this week. It is 6 in total. We're out on number 4 here for the all-arounder stage. And the next stages coming up for stages 5 and 6 are going to be interesting out here. I'm excited for for all of the stages, but these next ones for the power up, we are looking at the ruler course. It's going to be pretty cool. So if you've got those 5-minute power efforts, stage number 5 is the one that you're going to be looking to hammer away at as well. Yorkshire, now number 6 here. We're going to have to take a look here and see what number 6 is all about, and definitely see where things are at with that. Check, help me out here for number 6. You've got the what's happening for the punchier stage, feather and breakaway power-ups. So we've got the ruler stage, and then we've got the puncher stage for the feather and the breakaway power-ups. So it'd be cool to see how those end up playing out as well. So we'll be here for Saturday. Now Saturday, it's going to be interesting because the reality for Saturday is that what is prime time on a Saturday? We always are covering, well, not always, almost always, we're covering the races and the rides at somewhere between noon Central Standard Time USA and 3 p.m. Central Standard Time USA. That is usually between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. UK time. And that's usually the prime time for all Zwift events and streaming, and we do that to serve the most of the community that we possibly can. Obviously, when we're doing the streams for Australia, we get up at 2, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and get into that 7 p.m. AEST, as we did this morning for the lamb chop. But on Saturday, it'll be a little bit different. I have a feeling that we're going to be needing to look at something a little bit earlier in the day to catch that prime time. So we'll be looking through. Let us know in chat where you think prime time is at on Saturdays so that we can get the best for the puncher stage and try and get a solid event going as we plan that out. Well, be sure to watch out for the scheduling of that as well over on our Facebook as well as ZwiftCommunityLive.com. Player now off the front still, 32 seconds. It looks like this rider has absolutely been able to break the pack at this point as they climb up through this little bit of an uphill and then back into the flat section. They'll be hitting that KOM here in just a moment. Halfway through the lap with 24 seconds. Not into the clear yet as Gakes looks to turn the screws at the front end of this pack. 5% uphill gradient now, 23 seconds as Blair continues on at 5.8 watts per kilogram right now. Joliffe is there as well. Alt Richard now coming out of Germany trying to hang on, and it looks like Alsenbrook said towel is done. Knockout. Round 2, it looks like. Well, round 4, second lap in round 4. But Carter here now, 56 seconds up. It looks like it's strung out on this uphill gradient here now. Looks like Vets, though, with the flag, going to be vetted out of the efforts here as the Z-Power gets the Froomy flag, as we like to call it once in a while out here. UCI Tour, beyond UCI Pro Tour numbers, but nice job out there, Vet, hammering away and getting a solid workout as always. Missed the calling, or at least found the calling into the cone though. Now Blair here now 5.8 with Collins now trying to close this down with a group of 4 around him as they head back through the fields of Yorkshire here now back into the KOM. Look out for the crazy chase group we're hearing from Tongvik. Tongvik, I did see you out on course as well, so are you actually a part of that chase group would be the question that I've got. And if you are, I want to see that group. I want to see on the front end of that pack hammering away to try and bring things back together here. We'll see if it's able to make that happen. I do see Jay Bishop from Cryogen in 78th place trying to make something happen. Our Collins here, team hub here, Svensson there as well. I'm going to keep on moving forward. Asplund is out there. I'm trying to find it. It looks like Eric Schlenke from Zwift Inside are currently sitting in around, I believe, 50th place or so. Gull is in there as well. It looks like Sunderland from Innovation now. I think this is going to be that chase group Tongvik is talking about. So let's go ahead and jump in with them and see how things are playing out. And this is going to be on the back end of this with Innovation now. 4.4 watts per kilogram. BOC rammed here. Debski there. Olsenbrock now jumping in with this group as he did fall off from the main group there. Out of the Netherlands, it's going to be Moss in there as well. Where are the national champs next year? We're hearing from Liam Wageningen. Not sure exactly, Liam. Thanks a lot for the question. No, we'll have to wait and see where they're going to be at. For if you were talking about the UK National Championships, I'm not positive. But Kaiser here now, as well as Alsenbrook now. Solid group, actually. 120 back, though. I'm not sure anything's going to be able to be done with this because the reality is with the punches on this course, it makes for a very difficult day to try and close anything down. Now, the kind of speed that you're able to hold into this is very important, as you do see these riders pulling in 58 kilometers per hour. Collins now coming to the front here, 5.0 watts per kilogram. But Blair here now, he is up ahead, still by about 30 seconds. But Carter with 6 watts per kilogram to give now. He's only about halfway up this climb. They could close this down, but they've got to kick 6-7 watts per kilogram all the way to the top. Blair still with 26 seconds. He might have won this outright here, and he's got more watts per kilogram to give, it looks like, than the rest of the pack here. Blair still 6-1 now on the front here. The American rider completely demolishing this stage here. Aldrich now seeing that it's a threat still. Goes to the front. Collins now as well, U18 here now. 180 beats per minute, 7% gradient uphill. Kicks into 6 watts per kilogram. There's a feather power up coming from Carter there now, and it looks like Gakes now starting to fall off the back. Push back to 66th place. Looks like Swift's not too interested in us being at the front. Let's jump back in with him on our other feed now. Collins again trying to close it down, but Blair's just got too much. He's starting to see that KOM banner within sight, and I think that this rider's going to have well over a minute when he gets to the bottom of the other side of this KOM, and I think he has won this outright here today. And it looks like Harry, is that Sianskis is letting us know he thinks they're going to make it here. He's going to make it out here. USA will make it here out on course for the win. Keith Robertson saying, did you see, let's see here. By the way, Nathan, did you see the power numbers from this morning's lamp chopper? Greg Henderson did 6.3 watts per kilogram at 473. I watched it and commentated on it live, Keith Robinson, and it was the Kiwi train on the front. We saw Greg Henderson, we saw Alex West, we saw Ollie Jones, all rotating at the front, just demolishing the lamb chop this morning. I think their heads were down. I did not see his avatar sit down much, Keith Robinson. So yes, I did see that this morning. And the A category, though, even with that kind of firepower, the gaps were just a little bit too big, and the C category was able to pull off an amazing win this early this morning, and we were rooting for him from the get-go. And that is, you know, the ride leaders, though, they definitely, the ride leaders are definitely ones to thank for that sometimes too. And E. Compson was out there doing some great ride leading. There was a couple others from the HDR team doing a really, really great job making sure that each one of the categories were working together. But C category specifically had like 120 riders, something like that in it, all really kind of working together. Compson actually this morning, I was really impressed at each section of the course where the power-ups were most advantageous. She was like calling out in chat as a ride leader, coming across the screen. All right, this section of the course, everybody with the feather power-up, use it now. At this section of the course, everybody with an arrow power, use it now. And they were using those power-ups to the greatest advantage for the entirety of the category, which was so cool to see, actually. And it was really encouraging to see how the community comes together around those chop races. Krista Min letting us know that she is wishing that she could do the lamb chop races. Carissa, keep an eye on this space because we're all about bringing you a UK-US chop race. So be watching out. I think that is in the plans. I've heard rumors of some chop racing coming to the rest of the world. It's not just for the lands down under. So, and we'll definitely be doing some coverage of that chop racing right here on ZCL. So be watching out for that, everybody, this winter. Lots of handicap racing, I think, is going to be coming at you. I think we should have handicap racing every week, twice a week, 10 times a week. Let's just handicap it all the time. Well, then we can't do a broadcast. Everybody's doing all different types of racing. But let's do some handicap racing for sure. And no, we're not talking about getting injured. We're not looking to injure anybody. So now, Carter here now, it looks like maybe just our pride because the A category doesn't get the win every single time. But Blair here now on the front looks like he's going to be winning in the A category now. 5.4 watts per kilogram coming from him as he rounded this out here. Right-hand turn coming into the sprint section. Then it's going to be a left hand into another right and then into the uphill as they head on by the pens here. Blair with 31 seconds. He's still not into what I would call safe. He's not safe yet. 32 seconds is a lot here. He is out of sight, but there are still some climbs to come here now. Little uphill punches, you know, and especially going into the finish line here, there's still quite, you know, I think he's about 3K out at this point. 35 seconds. Looked like Gakes, though, is racing for second without anybody driving the pace at the front. It's all said and done at this point, and so it looks like this is going to be a win for P. Blair and the US of A. Collins here now trying to push it through that sprint section, but they're racing for second here out on course. Looking through here, Fake Beard saying it sounds like fun. Missed where Blair attacked, but it looks like the perfect ride, Simon Gregory. So Simon Gregory, it was a very good ride there from Blair. He had actually, it was interesting where he attacked. This is a section of the course, Simon Gregory, that has been somewhere that I was speaking about about this course specifically. It's that false flat uphill gradient. We see this on the New York course as well. Where there's one section, if you come through the lap finish banner, people a lot of times, there's a mental thing that goes on where it's like, okay, there's the lap's done. People kind of like gather themselves again, try and find a wheel. What do I got for this next lap? And I think Blair sensed this lull after Gakes had attacked through the lap finish banner. And because of that false flat and it's long enough, you can kind of just drive the pace if you get enough distance. Everybody's just kind of got to match you, and your speeds are so high with that false flat. The speeds aren't slow at that point, and you can really gain a lot of distance. And there's a pretty sharp downhill afterwards, and after that false flat uphill. And he essentially walked away at that point and then ended up with about a 30-second gap almost, actually, before they even hit the halfway point out on course. So P. Blair, solid effort there, and very smart move, actually, as he now is looking to take the win out here. It's just going to be a left-hand turn, then a climb into the finish banner in just a moment here. So Gonna try and see if we can find where the ladies are out on course in just a moment. The chase group here with Kaiser and Debsky and Gatkin has really swelled, actually. They're about 119 back from the group of Gakes at this point. 47 seconds back. So this is the main chase group. There is another chase group here, as you can see here with Kaiser, about a minute back from them. So chase group 1 here with Gakes, and then it's going to be Blair here, your solo leader with the breakaway here at this point. 152 beats per minute now. And Chris is saying, interesting, really wondering how this will play out for the pros. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out next week, with the Pro-Am racing as well on this course for the Zwift Classics as well. Now, 10% gradient, now as we're seeing here, 343 watts, 154 beats per minute. I'm pretty excited for World Championships this year. This course looks to be extremely difficult and very, very punchy course. I was talking with Pat Shaw actually during the Lamb Chop broadcast last night. He's extremely excited for some of the prospects for Australia actually out on this course because of the nature of it being so punchy actually. Blair now showing us that he's got the punches to the line though. 5 watts per kilogram steady here. There's going to be a sprint, though, behind that's starting to open up as Joliffe is starting to make something happen now. Great race to everybody there coming from Blair. Let's go ahead and make sure that we catch the sprints as they really start to hammer away. The feather power-up's now coming on. They're trying to close things down. Blair now, after typing out great race, everyone says, wait a second, these boys are coming on. And here comes an arrow power-up now, though. It's going to be Collins, it looks like, with the arrow power-up. But no, Joliffe has an arrow power-up to match it. And it looks like Joliffe's going to be able to make it happen with that arrow power-up. Solid effort here coming from him. 11 watts per kilogram, 782 watts. Collins trying to close it down. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. And it's going to be Team Cryogen taking out Collins for that second place. But it was Blair across the line in first. Ooh, right behind there. Nipped at the line, perhaps. Collins maybe by Gakes as Gakes come flying by there at 8.3 watts per kilogram. Let's take a quick look at that again. And this is not the feed that we're looking for, as we've got an amazing look here at one of the other riders here. But we're looking actually for this right here is what we're looking for. Let's go ahead and go backwards with that. And it looks like solid effort here coming through from Joliffe as they do hit up those arrow power-ups. Collins tried to make it happen there for the bunch sprint with a very early power-up over the top of the climbing section. But Joliffe able to walk away with it here. Just behind, though, we do see nipped at the line, perhaps. Collins nipped there by Gakes. We'll have to wait and see for some of the results there. But Gakes with a last-ditch effort there, up to 8 watts per kilogram, actually. So solid efforts there all around. Debs here now is starting to make her way to the line, I am seeing. And Debs in 51st place overall on the chase. Now, I am going to see if I can grab the sprint here for Tonfik now just coming across the line. Solid effort here from Tonfik here from the TFC riders now. Shout out to him. I know he is watching the broadcast here. Ram BOC is now just making his way to the line as well. It looks like Parker there and then it's going to be Gollinson and Swadling now. Little ways back actually, but looking through for Debs now as I believe Debs in 51st place with an arrow power up coming through that sprint section. No more climbs for her out on course besides the finishing climb as she's on a solo effort here trying to catch up to Team Poland with Zempa up ahead as well as Tickner. We'll make sure to keep in with the Ride 3R rider here to cover all the categories. We definitely always want to make sure that we do so for all of the riders. Eric Schlange here, a little ways back actually from Debs. I'm seeing over on one of our other feeds actually, the Zwift Insider, hammering away here with Team Poland and Grubka here, Lister, and then it's going to be Forbes as they come through this sprint section. Let's go Schlange here. He says he's riding out of Ohio, from Ohio. And no, Eric Schlange is definitely not coming out of Ohio. But 163 beats per minute here coming from the Zwift Insider. If you haven't checked out ZwiftInsider.com, it's a place where you can head on over to for all information that you're looking for on all things Zwift. They do some pretty amazing work over there. They check out all the courses, do course profiles, see what the fastest bikes are out on Zwift, give you a full profile on each one of the bikes and how they match up against each other. All the Zwifty news, essentially, is what you'll be able to find over on Zwift Insider. Lots of cool tips. Essentially, if you tune in to GP Llama for YouTube for all the videos on inside information on Zwift, Zwift Insider is the written form of something similar there. So head on over there to check that out. As Eric Schlange here it looks to try and hang on to this pack here as East Shaw looks to try and break away. It looks like Shaw now. A little bit of attack, though. Not going to be going anywhere. 2.8 watts per kilogram, backing it on off. Lister just about 129 up. They're not going to be catching them, but they're trying to hold off, it looks like. V Fox here, B123, just behind him. Here's Debs now making her way to the line, though. 3.8 watts per kilogram coming from her as she's got, I believe, about 2K to go to the line here. Forbes trying to chase him down. Zemta now just ahead from Team Poland. 11 seconds still just hanging on to this gap. It's going to be a left-hand turn, then a right into the climb here. You can see the climb just ahead, actually. It's kind of cool how it works out here. You go around this little bend, but you can see where you are heading in just a moment, actually, when you take this right, and then it's going to be a left bend around, and then it's a left-hand turn again onto the street that we were just looking at. I love how that is over on this course, actually. So let's go ahead and see how it's going on over here in chat while we wait for Debs to finish up. We love Zwift Insider, huge bike is saying, as well as ZCL. Renee Dodd, go Eric. A little bit of cheering on for Eric Schlange here from Renee Don over on Facebook. Go Schlange here coming from Carissa. So Eric Schlang with a lot of cheering on going on here. Bjorn Ausenbrook letting us know that he's going for a mountain bike race, a ride or race today. Good to hear that you're out there on the mountain bike. I need to get back out on my bike for sure, mountain bike for sure. I might be doing a race at the end of this month. And Ausenbrook, me and you, similar situations, just so you know. You said you're not in shape for this. That's how I feel for the mountain bike race I may be doing at the end of this month. I'm not ready for this, is what I'm saying in my head. But sometimes you just got to get out there and get whooped to get a little bit of fire underneath, get a little bit of fire lit there. To motivate you on, that's for sure. Gino Bartali saying, great race, got dropped in the cam when everyone popped the feather power up. Gino, thanks a lot for tuning in, and great job out there, Gino Bartali. Great to have you, and thanks a lot for tuning in, as well as following the channel over on Twitch, as I did see that notification recently. Debs now, 4.7 watts per kilogram. Solid effort here coming from Debs for Ride 3. I believe this is going to be first place for the women out there. I am seeing just behind Debs here, actually closing down here. Schlange here trying to hang on to Grubka, actually. This is a cool little battling out here. Debs going to be coming across the line. Is Schlange going to have the effort, though? There's a kick to the line there coming from Eric Schlange. Debs just crossed the line, and it looks like it's going to be Debs now crossing the line, but Eric Schlange here right behind, able to sprint it out here and give us a little bit of a show. Just ahead of Grubka for Team Poland. So solid effort there coming from Eric Schlange. And first place amongst the women looks like it's going to be Debs for Race 3R. All right, that's going to be it for us, everybody. We're out here for each one of the stages of the Yorkshire Power Up Tour. We're mainly doing this as a community service. You guys, obviously, these aren't necessarily official races. These are rides/races. They're mainly for enjoyment and hanging out with the community, getting a solid workout in, and pushing yourself while listening to some crazy guy talk about you chasing pixels throughout your hour, 45 minutes to hour of suffering. So that's why we're out here doing this, and I hope everybody had a great time out there riding. Great job to everybody out there today. As far as more competitive race broadcasts, those are done for the week. Obviously, we do have the rest of the Power Up stages. We'll be broadcasting tomorrow the ruler stage, and then on Saturday we'll be doing the puncher stage. We will not be broadcasting Sunday the makeup stage, just so you guys know, but there is a makeup stage on Sunday. A mix of all of the stages if you do want to jump in on that. Again, everybody, we are live, obviously, over on YouTube, Twitch, as well as Facebook. Make sure to hit those follow buttons wherever you are watching. And we will see you guys tomorrow for stage number 5. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, as always. Next week, it's going to be a little bit calmer as far as the broadcast. This week, we've had, I believe, 7-8 broadcasts in total. Next week, we'll be going back to Fusion, ECT, and Lamb Chop. And then, obviously, the classics are next week. So be watching out for that, as well as Worlds. So you're going to have plenty of things to watch, I think, when it comes to cycling. And so it's going to be a little bit calmer next week here on ZCL. But we'll see you tomorrow for stage number 5. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, as always. And as always, Right on.